Right now, I like to talk about why dating apps are potentially a scam, and particularly for men, when you should use them, and when you should run away from them and avoid them at all costs. And I'm someone who's been using them for years, so I have a little experience in this. I've used every dating app you could think of. I've been on Match.com, I've been on Hinge, I've been on OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Tinder. Um, I've been on ethnic dating sites that are for blacks and Hispanics. I've been on every single dating app you could think of, and I've been doing it for many, many years. All right. So let me explain why it's a scam, and also when you should be using them, and the excuses that people typically have for using a dating app. Um, First and foremost, uh, the reason why it's a scam is because a lot of these dating apps, and I'm just looking at my notes, a lot of these dating apps don't disclose the gender ratio of the apps. Let's just say that you're going to a club and you're going there not to dance, not to party, not to waste time, not to socialize or make friends. You're going there specifically to find a date, to find someone to get him, whether it's for something serious or whether you're just going there for a hookup. Whatever the reason, you're going there for some kind of connection, romantic connection at that club. You go up to the club and there's a long line of men and maybe there's one or two women. It's literally 3 to 4 men per female. Okay, at this club. Um, would you feel comfortable going to this club, to this gathering where there's an exorbitant amount of men per female, even if it was free? Or would you say that looks like a waste of time? That looks like it may be a very uncomfortable situation. I think I'm going to avoid that, environment. I think most men, and even women who, if the roles were reversed, would avoid that environment. Okay? And talking about women, because this video is for women too, as a woman, would you feel comfortable going to a club full of a bunch of dirty, weird, strange, antisocial, creepy men, and those men outnumber women? Would you feel comfortable going to that environment? And this is why there are some women who complain about their feeling overwhelmed on these apps. The dating apps, these companies do not disclose their gender ratios. Even if they did, there's a possibility that they could fake those statistics by creating bots, fake accounts, stating that it's not them creating the fake accounts, and making it look like the gender ratio is 50-50, or even worse, making it look like there are more women than there are men on their site in a particular location. This is why it's a scam. This is why it's not the same as meeting somebody in the real world, because you do not have that bird's eye view of who is on the app, how many men per female, how many women per man on these applications, what's the age ratio. If you were, for example, and some of you are young, if you're 20 years old and you're looking for someone around your age to date, and here's this social gathering full of 30, 40, 50-year-olds, would you feel comfortable going there if that's not what you want to date? Okay? So there's a lot of... The main issue is you don't see what you're getting into. And the dating apps do not disclose this. There are some dating apps that are honest and they tell you some details. For example, recently I got on... Not recently, but some months ago I got on an app called Coffee Meets Bagel. Okay? And for the first time, I got on this app, and they decided to disclose how many likes people are getting. So I would see a woman, and I would see she got like 500 likes in a single day. In one day, 500 likes from 500 men. And because I got to see that, I was able to decide, okay, I'm not going to use this app. For me, it made sense. And I commend them for being honest and upfront about what their environment entails. And that's why I give Coffee Meets Bagel a thumbs up for, transparency and honesty that every dating app should have. There should be a law requiring them to do this. So that's the number one reason why it's a scam. But here's where things get worse. Then they want you to pay money to boost. Boosting, by the way, is you pay money and they supposedly enhance, like make your profile stand out among all the other people so that you get attention. So that's another way that they capitalize on your inability to meet someone. It's like you're going to the club and then someone says, well, I'll put a spotlight on you so that, more women can see you, but you got to pay this fee, which is usually high, sometimes low, but then it gathers up, collects after a while. And to me, don't ever, I've used it, don't ever pay for Boost. It's them exploiting you and, your insecurity. You'll pay for Boost and most likely you're still not going to get any attention because it's an insane environment. And again, you don't know what you're dealing with, so you'll be throwing money down the drain. Another reason why it's a scam is because of the high monthly fees to be an official member. Some of these fees are literally more than a Netflix subscription. I mean, we're talking like $60 a month. And then they want you to sign up to a 6-month, 12-year subscription. Which, by the way, think of it this. If their dating app actually worked for you to meet somebody, why would they expect you to be on the app for another 6 months to a year? That should already be a dead giveaway. That something is wrong here. They actually expect you to be on there that long and to pay for that, okay? And by the way, I don't recommend that you pay for that. What are the excuses why in particular men keep using the apps even though they're potentially getting ripped off? One of the excuses is success stories. They have a friend or they know someone who met somebody on a dating app, and then they're like, why can't I meet somebody on a dating app? This actually mirrors pyramid schemes, where there are people who legitimately, in a pyramid scheme, make money and they have their car and a Rolls Royce and whatever car they have, and they have their money and they have their success. And then you look at those people and you say, well, I'm going to join that pyramid scheme, not knowing the incredible amount of work and time you're going to have to invest just to get what they have. And dating apps are similar to that, where there are genuine success stories, but these are people that are incredibly lucky or put a tremendous amount of time into finding a person to be with. Okay? So yes, there are success stories, but they only represent a small percentage of people. Okay? While the majority do not succeed on dating apps. And again, these dating app services, because they are in a way kind of a scam, do not disclose their success ratios. There will be success stories mentioned, but they won't disclose what percentage of people actually meet someone on these apps. And again, you're going in blind for that reason. So success stories is no excuse to use a dating app in the hopes that maybe I'll be one of the lucky ones. Another reason is that it's free. Well, again, is it really free if you have to deal with insecurity, you have to waste time swiping on people, there's a large time investment. If time is money, wasting time is not free. You're losing money by wasting your time. You could be putting your time into something else to make money, and just because something is free does not make it good. There's a lot of things in the world that are free, okay, that you don't want to have or waste your money or your time or anything on. I say not money, but anything on just because it's free, okay? Crap is crap, okay? Just because it's free doesn't make it any less of a turd. I'll put it that way. And if you're not getting anything out of a dating app, then it is inconsequential that it costs you nothing. You can't walk away and be like, well, it cost me nothing. Well, if you spent a month or 2 months or a year on a dating app and you got nothing out of it, then they win, you lose. Because they probably shove commercials, they got your personal information, and yes, they get your personal information, they get your data, and they sell your data to other people. In case you didn't know that. Okay? So no, it's not free. And if it is free, it doesn't make it any better. The other excuse is, and this is a huge one, and this is the one that I fell for and a lot of you men fall for, is blaming yourself. The reason I didn't get a date, the reason why I'm not finding anyone is because of my pictures. I took a bathroom photo, I took a photo at the gym showing my abs, or whatever excuse you have about, I didn't write my profile good enough. And this is something that hooked me in for many, many, many years, this excuse of blaming myself. So I read articles on how to create the perfect profile, I did photos and all that, and it was nonsense, okay? Let me explain why this is nonsense. Look at me right now. Do I look like I'm like hot? Do I have like a tie or like, dressed perfectly and got a good haircut? No. And you might look at me and say, well, the reason he's complaining about dating apps is because look at him. He's not that attractive, whatever. And let me say something. Dating apps are a total failure. Okay, a massive failure. If the only way that you can really succeed, and by succeed I don't mean actually go on a date and have sex with anyone or get in a relationship. I'm talking about just find someone to talk to and have a social life on a dating app. If the only way you can do that is by looking hot and by writing a profile written by Shakespeare, it's got to be like a Shakespearean profile, like a profile written by a master writer, and you have to have photos taken by a professional photographer, and you have to look hot just to have a social life on a dating app. I'm not talking about dating anybody. I'm not talking about having sex, and I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm talking about just to have people emailing you and to have some kind of social interaction on a dating app. Because a lot of you men, get on there and you can spend literally a month and not get a single like. Not have a single person to talk to. Even when you're swiping on hundreds of women. Okay? That is unacceptable. And if you have to look hot, and if you have to write a perfect profile just to have someone to talk to, again, I'm not talking about sex and I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm talking about having several women in your mailbox to have a conversation, just a conversation. That is a failure. You should not have to look like a supermodel and write a profile written by Shakespeare just to talk to someone. Okay? That is a scam. But what is the point of upgrading your profile? What is the point of improving your photos then? Why improve your photos? Why do people concern themselves with that? The reason why you improve your photos is not to find someone to talk to. It is to upgrade, and this is why women do it too, it is to upgrade the kinds of people that like you. So when you take a picture in the bathroom, or you take a picture, and you're not looking that good, what should happen in an environment where there are enough people in there, the ratio is balanced, is that you're going to get people that are not very attractive, not good quality, and a lot of people are going to like you and want to talk to you, but they're not going to be very top quality people. Okay, that's in a fair environment. Okay, and of course you're going to want to upgrade your photos and look good and take really good shots and look better in your pictures to attract better looking people. However, okay, when you're in a situation, this is the situation a lot of you men are in, where you feel that you have to look hot and upgrade your photo just to get attention from women. Not even date, no sex, just to get likes. That is a failure, and that is ridiculous. I should not have to look like Brad Pitt or some hot guy just to talk to an average woman on a dating app. That's an immediate sign that you are in the wrong place, and that is not the real world. I guarantee you that, because you should at least be getting a lot of unattractive women, a lot of unattractive people hitting you up on a dating app if your pictures are truly that bad. Okay, so don't blame yourself for that. Blame the dating app. And a lot of people blame the victim in this. And again, I'm talking about a scenario where you're getting barely any likes, no likes at all. A month goes by, maybe you get 1 or 2 likes and then these people ghost on you. Okay? And let me point out too, let me explain something, that when your pictures are the best, and I've taken some really good pictures, I don't look like this in my dating apps when I use them, okay? You don't even get average looking people hitting you up for the effort that you put in. You get mediocre, ugly, I'm going to say it bluntly, ugly, unattractive people hitting you up, and that's barely any of those people. And I've had that experience on OkCupid, I've had it on Plenty of Fish. And before any of you say, well, it's because of where you are located at, and this is another excuse people make, oh, it's where I live, maybe not a lot of people are using the app, and that explains it. I did this, I've changed my address on these apps, you could do that, and I've relocated myself into places like New York City, California, places that are highly populated, and it made no difference. Okay, it helped a little bit, but it made barely any difference. And I'm telling you, improving your profile is not an excuse. Okay, do not spend a year trying to let me shoot the perfect angle. Let me edit my profile. Let me get my friend to edit my profile. When you're in that situation and you're just to get someone to like you and talk to you, and that's the game you're playing, that's a losing game. I guarantee you that. That's a losing game. You're going to end up with a top-notch profile, and you're going to end up talking to the creature from the Blue Lagoon, and that's going to be your success. I'm serious. Because again, there's nobody on there, and that should not have to happen. You should not have to look hot. Look, I'm thinking about Tinder here, just to have someone to talk to. And again, for you women watching this, the men on there are not looking to date or have sex, despite what you think. A lot of them are on there they want to have someone to talk to, a woman to actually have a conversation with. Okay, and they can't even get that. Okay, and that's unacceptable. Consider how easy it is to send an email. You have 24 hours in a day. Someone can do this on their toilet. A little kid, a 5-year-old could do this. And yet you have no one to talk to, no likes. A month will go by, nothing. You meet somebody, you try to talk to them, they ghost on you. Okay? Another excuse that people make, not enough time. I have a full-time job, I have kids. I have all these excuses. I just don't have time to meet someone in public, and therefore I have to use the dating app. Well, here's the thing. If you don't have time to go out there and look for someone to date and talk to, what's the point of meeting them on a dating app when you probably won't have time to still meet that person and form a relationship? If you have no time, then you have no time. Meeting somebody on a dating app is not going to change the situation. And I've encountered people that are working 2-3 jobs, kids, you name it. They have zero time. And then I'll tell them something like, can we meet next week, or when can we meet? And it's constantly, I don't know, maybe, oh, I can't meet you today. Something came up. They don't have any time. And there's no point, I'm saying right now, there's no point in going on dates and looking for somebody on a dating app if you have no time for a relationship. That's stupid. Okay, so it's better to look for someone in public, find the time to look for someone in public, and if you have the time to find someone in a public space, to go out, to socialize, to do something publicly, then logically you have the time for a relationship. Okay? So no, that's not an excuse to get on a dating app. That's a problem that you need to fix. And a dating app is not going to fix that problem. Okay, it's not going to be a solution to your problem. Okay, work on opening up more time and free space for a person in your life. Don't go on a dating app to replace, to compensate for that problem. Okay, and this is especially to you women who get on there because you're so busy and your dating apps are going to make it so easy. And you put these guys on hold, you have no time to meet them and talk to them and do anything or even have a conversation. Everything has to be on the clock. And these people get frustrated and, it defeats the purpose. Okay? So lack of time is no excuse to stick to a dating app. That's giving you nothing, by the way. Another excuse is lack of social skills. I'm shy, I'm insecure. How is getting on a dating app where you're getting no likes, no attention, people are ultra picky, ultra demanding, going to raise your self-esteem? How is getting on a dating app where other people probably have social anxiety and problems being open and communicating going to help you be more outgoing. It won't. It'll just probably make you worse. So that's another excuse. So here's what I'm going to say here, just to conclude this video. Yes, I do recommend to use a dating app if you've never used one. Okay? But the maximum amount of time you should give it is a month. 4 weeks. And I suggest not spending any money. People spend money to get higher quality matches. They don't spend money to get matches. And I want to be clear about that. Okay? So if a month goes by and you are getting maybe 1 like or 2 likes or 0 likes, that's even worse. You're getting barely any type of social interactions on the dating app. Okay? And you're a man, delete your profile, never use that dating app again. Maybe you could try a different dating app. Sure. Or you could try various dating apps at the same time within that month. But get off. Because there's no excuse for that. Ever. Okay? Also, I want to be clear that a lot of these matches that you get or likes that you get, if you do get likes, for those who are like, oh, I want to get hundreds of likes, a lot of them are in places that are far away. I'm talking about in another country. I'm talking about far in a different state. So even if you do get likes, a lot of these people do not live conveniently close to you. The closest you might get is a 3-hour commute. Okay, and that's serious. All right, that's a serious problem with a lot of the dating apps. So if you're not looking for a long-term relationship, then that's going to be problematic because a lot of the people you will match with will live far away. That's just a reality of it. Okay, you're lucky if you get anybody who lives locally. All right, so even if you, within a month, you get lots of likes, if they all live in freaking Alaska, okay, and you don't want a long-term relationship, it's a waste of time. Now you're communicating with someone, getting to know somebody for no reason other than you're lonely, you're bored, or let me talk to this person that I'll probably never meet, and that this conversation is going to lead to nothing because I'm not willing to travel or relocate or adjust anything to be with this person. Okay, and that's a real scenario you're going to find yourself in. Or you meet somebody and you barely like them, but they're willing to date you, but they live 3 hours away. I'm going to take a long commute just to meet them. And risk that they're not going to look like their pictures. You're going to go through all this stress and hassle just to meet somebody far away when you can meet somebody around the corner or in your neighborhood or in your local area. Okay, and that's a scenario that you will encounter. And again, and if you're encountering that, that's a big red flag that they don't have enough people, at least within your local area, using the app. All right. And by the way, for those who might be using like OkCupid or other apps that block, that don't tell you who liked you, that's a way that they get you to spend money, because you'll get 100 likes, you don't know who liked you or who matched with you, and then you got to spend money to see them, and then you spend the money to see them. Like I had that situation with OkCupid. It was 100 likes I had. And I paid the money, and it was a lot. It wasn't a tremendous amount of money, but it was money I spent. And just to find out, the majority of the people that liked me lived in Africa, and I live in the United States. Okay, so be careful of these apps when you get on there and you get tons of likes, because that may mean nothing since they probably live far away, and you waste your money spending money